starting in November. So these are the games that really, really matter. These are the games that will either make or break your season. Everything else prior to this has sort of been the dessert. I'm sorry, the appetizer, I should say. It's been kind of the appetizer to the football season. The dessert is still to come in the playoffs. This is the main course as teams get down to playing region ball tonight. Josh Cohen is back in our Columbia studios, and he'll be taking calls from reporters out and about in the state of South Carolina tonight. And David Shelton will be joining us in a little bit as well to add his analysis regarding the various games across South Carolina tonight. Okay, let's go ahead and get things rolling with the scores that we have in. Got a few finals in, especially early finals in tonight from the Skeezer ranks, a lot of those. And then we'll give you some games in progress. So let's begin with what we have in front of us right now, and that would be a fourth quarter score where Gray Collegiate is playing Portal out of Portal, Georgia. You know, Gray Collegiate, none of their region rivals will play them, so they're having to play teams outside the state or other teams in the state, but mostly outside the state now because everybody else is locked in to their region schedule for the most part. And Gray Collegiate is leading the Portal Panthers 41-35. Jefferson Davis over Holy Trinity Classical Christian, final there of 40-8. Third quarter, Richard Wynn all over Conway Christian, 37-0. Faith Christian beat the Lawrence Academy Crusaders 22-6. Williamsburg Academy over Lee Academy in the third quarter, 47-7. Bethesda of Savannah defeated Orangeburg Prep 32-12. Colleton Prep over Greenwood Christian 32-14. Pinewood Prep, no trouble with PD Academy, 63-14, the final there. Hilton Head Christian rode over First Baptist 56-6. In the fourth quarter, Porter Gould leads Trinity Collegiate 58-30. Third quarter, Lawrence Manning taking it to Heathwood Hall 34-0. Third quarter there. And Hammond, let's see, I think we have a final on this one. Hammond and Augusta Christian. I was about to give you a partial, but I think we have a final. And it was Hammond 42, Augusta Christian 10. Hammond 42, Augusta Christian 10. In the fourth quarter, Bamberg Earhart leading Ben Lippen 43-27. Saluda has defeated Pelion 42-13. In the third quarter, North Central over Chesterfield, 33-20. Third quarter, Camden all over Lakewood, 37-0. Strom Thurman takes down Batesburg Leesville in a big way, 44-14. Fourth quarter, Gilbert over Lower Richland, 35-7. Newberry shuts out Eau Claire, 56-0. And Palmetto shuts out Southside, 47-0. Irmo, big win over Richland Northeast tonight, 63-8. Westwood is leading AC Flora in the third quarter, 33-28, while Lexington gets a big win over Chapin. I say big because it was a matchup of two good teams and an important win and a close game. Wildcats win it 22-15. Rock Hill all over Spring Valley, 44-7. In the fourth quarter, Blythewood 20, Fort Mill 7. Well Branch has defeated Bethune-Bowman 50-6. Lakeview, a big winner over Green Sea Floyds, 58-16. Johnsonville gets past Carver's Bay, 18-12. Wagner Sally downs Williston Elko, 52-6. In the third quarter, Denmark Oler big over Rich Spring Winetta, 58-18. Fourth quarter, Blackville Hilda 13, Hunter Connor Tyler 12. Whitmire all over Great Falls tonight, 61-28. Southside Christian 35, Dixie 7. Lamar hands Latta their first loss of the season. Lamar wins it, and this is a region game. Lamar wins it over Latta 14-7. Defensive struggle there, must have been a heck of a game. In the fourth quarter, Marion leading Andrews 42-32. Barnwell has beaten Edisto 42-6. Andrew Jackson downs Sherraw 21-17. St. Joseph's 56, Calhoun Falls 8. That's the final score. In the third quarter, 96-26, Blacksburg 14. Abbeville, no trouble with Liberty tonight. Final score there of 40-3. Oceanside Collegiate downs Lake Marion 30-8. In the fourth quarter, in a tight one, Woodland is leading Hanahan 31-28. Also in the fourth quarter, in the Low Country, Timberland 35 and Bishop England 14. Georgetown in the third quarter leads Waccamaw 7-6. Dillon runs past Loris tonight 33-14 the final. Silver Bluff shuts out Fox Creek by a final of 37-0. And Clennon back on the winning track, 30 points better than Union County, 51-21 the final. Chapman shuts out Carolina Academy 57-0. And Wren all over Fountain Inn 48-7. In the fourth quarter, Seneca is leading Crescent 41-14. We have Pendleton tonight in a big way over West Oak 61-0. Belton Honeypath in the fourth quarter leading Powdersville 56-28. James Island defeats Colleton County 56-0. Hampton County over Ridgeland Hardyville by a final of 50-13. Bluffton in the fourth quarter leads Hilton Head 28-24. Philip Simmons defeats Beaufort, final there 36-6. Third quarter, North Myrtle Beach 17, Wilson 14. One of the big games of the night over in Florence, and the Bruins of South Florence continue to roll. They beat Hartsville 49-21. In the third quarter, North Augusta 56, South Aiken 14. In the fourth quarter, York 21, Indian Land 14. South Point defeated Catawba Ridge 31-3. Greer over Lawrence 49-7. Greenwood beat Berea 42-10. West Side knocks off Greenville 28-14. Also tonight, Daniel 52, Walhalla 10. Easley over Pickens. That's the Green Wave over the Blue Flame. Easley 63, Pickens 21. Fort Dorchester beat Ashley Ridge 40-22. Somerville over Stratford 44-21. Goose Creek downs Berkeley 49-7. Sumter with a big win tonight over Socastee 36-6 the final score. In the fourth quarter, Conway looking for their first win, leading St. James 27-15. Northwestern rolls over Lancaster tonight, final score of 59-6. Clover defeats Nation Ford 30-0. In the fourth quarter, it's Dorman leading Boiling Springs 14-10. In the fourth quarter, Burns with a 21-9 lead on the Spartanburg Vikings. T.L. Hanna rolls over Malden tonight, final score of 62-7. In the fourth quarter, J.L. Mann on top of Woodmont 56-18. Florence Christian, a winner over Hilton Head Prep today, final score of 45-13. And I believe with that, we have run through the scores for tonight. Let me just double check and make sure we're good here. Yep, I think we've run through the scores for tonight for now. So there you go. First run through of the scores, and we will continue to update them and bring you more final scores as they come into us tonight here on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. And also, of course, we'll have a bunch of reporters to jump on board with us and give you their take on their games across the state of South Carolina. So let's go to our opening break, and when we come back, we'll get to some of these reporters who are standing by. We got our man Sam from Bishop England, Kevin Selman on T.L. Hanna, Doug Holliday on Lawrence and Greer. Got all that coming your way and more here on the high school football scoreboard across the state on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. We'll be back in just a moment.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with the family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. People often ask me, when should I start saving for college? And I always tell them, start today. September is College Savings Month, a great time to start saving for your child's education. Future Scholar makes it easy to open and manage your account online, and the plan offers options and benefits you won't find with a regular savings or investment account. So make this the month that you go to futurescholar.com and see why it's the smart, easy way to save for college. futurescholar.com.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitment that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Relax with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. Here at Founders, we understand that it's more than just a vehicle. It's a part of your life's journey, from hobbies changing to families growing. It's with you along the way. Our low fixed rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your life. Not sure what you want? Apply early for a pre-approved spending limit so you know what to look for before you start shopping. Head over to one of our 41 convenient office locations or visit foundersfcu.com to apply for an auto loan today. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Back we are on the high school football scoreboard. Airport has beaten Aiken tonight, 14-12. Another final that's come in. We've given you all the scores to the moment. So let's hear from some folks who've been out covering games tonight. Great play-by-play announcers all across the state of South Carolina. Well, Sam's not exactly a play-by-play guy, but he does take a close look at Bishop England for us. And down in Charleston, Sam, welcome into the high school scoreboard. How are you?
Doing great. I'm not really too happy right now.
Why are you not happy?
Well, actually, I know what is the final score again about Bishop again?
Well, you're supposed to be calling us with the final score.
Yeah, I think it's like 35-14 Timberland. Timberland's a really tough school to beat. I mean, they're about like the huge Power 5 schools in the country, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I was not at the game, but I was not at the game tonight, but I'm a big fan of the Bishop England because I went to that school since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's probably why they lost, because you weren't there to give them that positive mojo.
Well, actually, I'm going to my first game on I think it's on the 30th or the 6th of October, I think. But here's my overreaction. Is Coach Kenny still the coach next year? Because I'm not sure what our record is. But here's the real question to ask you. Do you think Bishop England will bounce back? Do you think? Because I'm sick and tired of Timberland with the whole thing. I can't see them going to why? Just tell me why.
Well, okay. Hey, Sam, thank you for the phone call. Well, look, Timberland's got a really good program. Bishop England's been there. They've won some state championships. But, teams They go through their ups and downs. Players come, players go, and as a result, the records reveal that. So maybe Bishop England's going through a little bit of a slim time from a talent standpoint. But look, they'll bounce back and they'll win some games down the road. And thank you very much for the call. Over in Raleigh, Louisville has just defeated NC State to go to 5-0. Cardinals win it 13-10. Okay. Now back to our reporters out in the fields tonight. Let's get to some of these reports, and we go to Kevin Selman, the voice of T.L. Hanna. Welcome in, Kevin. How are you?
Hey, Phil. Thanks for having me. You're doing good tonight. Big win for the Yellow Jackets tonight. We took care of Malden 62-7, a real lopsided affair. Coming into the game tonight, the Yellow Jackets were averaging 9 yards a carry on the season, which is just amazing. And I see us every week, and to think of that, it's just amazing. But the Jackets were on point tonight again with another 400-yard rushing attack tonight. I think we've rushed over 400 yards in every game this year but one. We actually had 2 touchdown passes tonight, which is a strange thing. We had about 100 yards passed, and in games like this, we get a chance to work on some things that we don't do a lot, and one of them was passing. But it was a good night for the Jackets all around. A lot of weird things happened. We had a pick six, had a touchdown, a 99-yard touchdown return on a kickoff. And we had a running clock about just inside the third quarter, so our game was over about 9:40. So it's been a quick night tonight.
The kind that you like.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So I get to get in the truck, call in, give you my score. Get to listen to the scoreboard, hear all the scores, go in, catch the news, and this is the kind of games we like at Hanna.
And get to sleep early. Get up early for Clemson tomorrow. Get that noon kickoff.
That's right. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. So I'm not going to be up there tomorrow with you. It's going to be the first time I've missed us playing up there at Syracuse, but I'll be watching watching on the TV and hoping the Tigers can pull through tomorrow with a big win.
Well, let me talk a moment more about the Yellow Jackets. You see this team kind of rounding into form as you now get into region play and you start thinking about what's ahead.
I do, and when you say round in the form, I mean we're 6-1. Our one loss was to a very good West Side team, and a game that was really back and forth all night. We lost the game, but we had 2 turnovers, so it wasn't like we've been bad all year. We've kind of gotten better as the weeks go on. But now we're getting into region play. The next 2 weeks, we got 2 really tough games with JL Man and Hillcrest. I expect the region will probably be decided within the next 3 weeks. So. But yeah, the Jackets are playing well, and if they get into region play, and a couple big games coming up here next couple weeks.
Okay, my man. Thank you very much as always. Great hearing from you. Have a super weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you.
Thank you. You too, sir. Okay, that's Kevin Selman. And the story on the T.L. Hanna win tonight. Let's go to Doug Holliday. Keep it in the upstate. Lawrence and Greer. Doug, welcome in. How are you?
Hi, Phil. Again, another rough night for the Raiders. Interesting. You were talking about programs up and down, and this is one of those stretches you never see happen in Lawrence. But unfortunately, it's one of those years. Greer won it tonight, 49-7. They led 35-7 at the half. Outgained the Raiders 440 yards to 144. Their outstanding junior running back, who I know has an offer from Tennessee. I think he may have a couple of others. A junior, LaDainian Martin, he had 11 carries for 214 yards. And Greer hasn't had any problem scoring this year. Their problem has been stopping people. But they were able to stop the Raiders tonight. They go to 1-0 in the region, and the Raiders unfortunately fall to 0-7 and 0-1 in the region.
Yeah, it's been a long year. Looks like it's going to be a long region season for you as well. But is there hope on the horizon? I mean, you guys had you played good football last year, and I guess you lost so much that you haven't been able to recover. But is there some hope on the horizon?
Well, I think so, Phil. We got a lot of young players. The quarterback is a senior, but we do have we had a kid, you may remember the name Ryan Campbell a few years ago, who led the Raiders to a couple of region championships. His younger brother is the JV quarterback. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's just not not ready for varsity yet, I don't believe, but maybe next year. Like some other younger players, the line is really young. We were at one point in the game tonight on the air picking out the players on the sidelines in their jerseys and blue jeans. We've got two with concussion protocol. One had appendicitis. He's done for the year. It's just, one of those things when it rains, it pours, and it's just been that kind of year for the Raiders.
What's up for you next week?
We go to Riverside and see if we can get in the win column. I mean, it's still it's the region season is brand new. Just didn't get off to the start we wanted to tonight.
Well, you look at Riverside and you look at J.L. Mann, two teams that are perennially sort of down, but Riverside's been playing a lot better this year, and they've been very competitive, and Mann's been good the last few years. The point is, you can turn it around. It can be done.
Yes, you can, Phil. And the one thing about this, especially some of these Greenville schools, I mean, I've been at this for almost 40 years now, and up in this area, a lot of these Greenville schools years ago were 2A and 3A. They had so many schools, and none of them were huge. Now you've got these schools becoming 4A and 5A, and they've got the numbers that they've never had before. They're able to get people out for football. They've got some good coaches, and particularly you mentioned those two Greenville County schools. Greenville County's come a long, long way in high school football in the last 20 years.
Probably paying the coaches a little bit better too, aren't they?
I believe they are, yes.
Yeah, that was always the rub that Spartanburg County coaches, were getting paid a heck of a lot more than they were in Greenville County, and that's why a lot of them would go over there and coach. So,
right.
Doug, thank you. Always great hearing from you. Talk to you next week.
All right, well, for one more thing, quick, Phil, congratulations to Kevin and those guys. I am a T.L. Hanna graduate, so a little bit of good news for me tonight, and I wish them well the rest of the way.
You got it. Thanks very much. David Shelton is now with us, and let's bring David on board, and we'll get more reports coming up. Got a break coming up here at the bottom. So those of you holding on, hold on a little bit longer. We'll get to you after the break. But David Shelton is joining us now from the Low Country. Good evening, David.
Good evening, Phil.
Oh, your voice sounds so deep tonight.
Don't have much of a voice, to be honest with you.
What game were you at?
I was at Ashley Ridge and Fort Dorchester, and Ashley Ridge came in undefeated, but they have a loss now because Fort Dorchester rolled up well over 300 yards rushing. They picked off 3 passes. They stopped Ashley Ridge twice inside the 5. And they won 40-22. Fort Dorchester wins 40-22. Still got some problems with penalties, and I talked with Coach Josh Smith about that. And but their defense really stepped up against an offense that had been averaging about 45, 46 points a game. It was.
Hang on, David. David, hold that thought. We got to hit a break here at the bottom of the hour. We'll come back to you and more in just a moment.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. But right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
voted against the bill that included deep cuts in border provisions. The Senate set to pass its own spending bill, but McCarthy has said he will not bring it to a vote. This is SRN News.
This decade may be the worst one yet to retire in. That's why you need the most current retirement information. For more than 30 years, Bob Carlson has been helping investors stay ahead of turbulent markets and money-grubbing politicians. Now, more than ever, you need to subscribe to Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. Bob makes sure his Retirement Watch readers are getting independent advice on all aspects of retirement. It's advice you won't get anywhere else. When you subscribe to Retirement Watch, you'll get 12 months of the newsletter. You'll also get 5 model portfolios. Plus, you'll get immediate access to the Retirement Watch private website with tons of special reports. You'll also get an online spending calculator to help you deal with inflation. Plus, exclusive conference calls with Bob Carlson, answering your retirement questions live, all for as little as $49.90.
Hey, everybody. I'm David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. When you think about insurance, I ask that you think of me. I'm homegrown in the Midlands. I live in Lexington. I'm a lifelong learner, teacher, coach, and friend. There are many insurance agencies out there, and there's even more agents. How am I different? I served 20 plus years as a coach and teacher. I'll help you understand it. I've done this for a long time. I've been there for folks during horrible times in their lives. It's not easy, but it's when I can help the most. I'll explain the right insurance coverage, not try to sell it to you. Best of all, I'm an independent insurance agent. I want to be your trusted insurance advisor. I have no quotas to fill. I work for you, and I'll find you the best and most affordable coverage to fully protect you, your family, and your business. I'm always available to my clients, who I get to know as friends. I can help with personal insurance, like your homes, vehicles, or boats, your commercial, for business owners. And it doesn't matter how big or small your company is, I want to help. So when you think about insurance, think of me, David Jolly of the Higgins and Halloran Insurance Group. Online at higginsandhalloran.com or give me a call at 803-850-0054.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results, and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
Do you own an annuity, either fixed rate, indexed, or variable? Are you paying high fees and getting low returns? If so, Annuity General would like you to have this free book to learn the pitfalls and mistakes of buying an annuity. The Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers contains the little-known truths about annuities, like how to help reduce your fees and increase retirement income. And it's free. That's right, free. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report just for calling. We researched over 1,000 annuities and summarized rates and benefits from financially strong insurers. You get Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and the Annuity Rate Report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Hurry, supplies are limited. Call now.
800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. 800-760-1845. That's 800-760-1845.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Big night of high school football across the state tonight as we're into region play now. For most everybody, good to have the region games that count the most. Now on the scoreboard, let's go back to David Shelton, High School Sports Report, Charleston Post and Courier. Had to jump in there to hit that break, David. Sorry about that, but you were giving us some details on Fort D's win, 40-22 over Ashley Ridge. Go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah, I was just saying that Ashley Ridge was 5-0, but really had not played a very tough schedule, and a lot of people were waiting to see how they would react to playing somebody with the athletes of Fort. their quarterback had been on fire all season, and he threw some bad picks tonight. And like I said, Fort Dorchester really showed what they're capable of on the ground. They had several runs with lost yardage, but then they had several runs with 14, 20, 31, 67. I mean, they just they stayed with it. They could have easily said, we need to get out of this because they're stopping us. They stayed with it. In the second half, they just powered them their way to, but their defense was the story. I mean, because they got riddled by Gaffney last week. 48 points and 500 yards. And a lot of people were like, man, all those athletes on that defense, but they had so many penalties, 4 or 5 personal foul penalties tonight. But they were able to overcome those with just some big plays. So really good win for Fort Dorchester. They, as their coach said, he's an interim coach, and he said, I don't need to win for myself, but he said this football team needed to win. We needed to beat a good team, because of what happened last week at Gaffney. They lost that game by 8. They lost to Grayson, Georgia. So they needed a win, and they got a really impressive win. So I would suspect they don't get full of themselves. I think they're going to get on a little roll here.
What do you think they're going to do with the job when the season's over? And I guess the superintendent, the principal, whoever makes that decision, where do you think they'll go? Will they look at the current situation and look in-house, or do they think they need to have a more statewide or maybe even national search?
Well, I don't know this on any authority, but I would say I think Josh will be a candidate. They'll probably open it up for a couple of weeks and see what kind of interest they get. But Josh has been there 6 years as the offensive coordinator. He was the guy that got them to the state finals last year. But he's never been a head coach. But I think if they win, if they win some games and get to the playoff, I think he's got a shot. I don't know if there's anybody else on that staff that would be interested in it. I think the guys that I thought might be interested already left when LaPrade stepped down. So, but yeah, if they open it up, you'll see some guys, you'll see some names apply for it, but it is not an easy situation. There are a lot of variables that go into that. But I think Josh is doing, he's doing a fine job. I mean, you lose to Gaffney and Grayson, and I can't remember who the third loss was, but I mean, they've lost to some pretty good teams.
Is Fort Dorchester, I mean, they've won one state championship, but they've been a power for a long, long time in the state. Is that a program that measures success like Somerville did all those years and now is doing again, or Dutch Fork or Burns did? Do they measure their success by championships, by state championships? Are they kind of at that level with a mindset like that?
Well, I mean, they may have the mindset, but they've only won one. And they had a guy named Carry-On Joyner at quarterback when they won that. And that's a generational, once-in-a-lifetime kind of guy. And he didn't play running back at Fort Dorchester. He was actually a quarterback. Yeah. But I think what the expectations are is at least you get to the third round of the playoffs. That is every year. They feel like every year they should not lose in the first 2 rounds, and probably they shouldn't. I mean, they've got players. I mean, they got some talent, and I think this team is certainly capable. I don't know. I'll reserve judgment because they don't play Somerville till the end of the year, but I think they're definitely one of the better teams in the lower state. So it depends on matchup. The big problem with Fort Dorchester over the last, since they won it in 15 or 16, has been Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork's put them out just about every year. And then Dutch Fork, beat them last year in the state championship game. So they haven't had as many problems with the other people as they have with old Tom Knott.
There's always that one bully, right? There's always that one bully that you have to deal with. And for them, it was Dutch Fork. All right, let's go back to reporters. David, stand by. We'll come back to you as we hear from folks. So, Bruce McNeil, voice of the Sumter High School Gamecocks, And they got a big win tonight at home against Socastee, taking care of my man Matt Smith on the call tonight for the Socastee Braves. But he called it on the losing side, and Bruce, you had it on the winning side. So you get the honor of calling into the Scoreboard show.
Well, thanks, Phil. Yeah, pretty big ground game tonight for Sumter. John Peoples threw for 1 touchdown and rushed for 3, and unofficially we had him at about 128 yards on the ground and threw for about 185. Was a perfect 8 for 8, and they just really had it rolling. Socastee definitely undersized, and Sumter really dominated the line of scrimmage and, really had their way. Peoples ran for 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and Cam Fortune came back after an ankle injury. He scored on a run in the second. Peoples had another one in the second. And then Peoples threw a pass for a touchdown. Sumter also was +3 in turnovers, picked off 3 passes tonight. A.J. Bracey got 2 more. Terrence Burgess got a second one for the season, and then they also recovered a fumble. So late touchdown by Socastee with about 4 minutes to go, and they broke through. Their quarterback did well, but they just don't have the ground game to complement the air attack.
So Sumter went through a little tough stretch there for a couple of weeks. You think they've kind of rightened the ship, and now that you're in the region play and you can eye the big prize down the road, these guys look like they're back where they should be?
Yeah, they're fortunate. They've had a lot of injuries. Peyton Merchant got dinged up last week, their quarterback, and they held him out tonight. And Fortune has missed a couple of games, and they've just, it's just been one guy after another, and they've had some issues in the O-line, and so they have their bye next week. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be at Carolina Forest. So that's going to be obviously a big test. It's always a great matchup playing those guys. But Somerville was just, they are really a good football team. I was very impressed with them that night. It's not hard to see why they're ranked number 1. And Crestwood is such a good rivalry here in Sumter, and they've got it going. They've got a great offensive team. And because of the kids knowing each other so well, it becomes very personal. So that was just a great game. And, it could have gone either way and went into overtime. And but they really focus on what they kind of call the second part of the season now, which is region play.
Very good, sir. As always, great hearing from you. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
That sounds good. Well, we'll have a bye next week, so I'll catch you in 2 weeks.
Enjoy your 2 weeks, lucky dog. The thing about the Scoreboard, we don't get a bye. There's games every Friday night, so we on the Scoreboard, we don't get a bye, all right? Understand that. Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate you, man. Great job as always. He's done a tremendous job since coming in and taking over that play-by-play job at Sumter. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell with Woodruff and Chester tonight. Good evening, Garrett. What's the story? Hello, Garrett.
Hello?
Hey. Is this Garrett? Or is this Thomas? Okay, Josh, who we got?
I think we're going to go to Thomas, I guess.
Okay. Thomas Grant, Chapin, and Lexington, one of the good matchups of the night. Thomas, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am.
All right. I see where Lexington scored a big win tonight over Chapin.
Yeah, it was one of those games where it was more of a defensive battle, although the score may have indicated otherwise. But this is really a game where both defenses made it really tough for the other one to score. But the key tonight was basically Lexington was able to get key turnovers. The game started with a bad snap that resulted in a safety. Then they were able to get a score on really one of just 2 offensive drives. They had success tonight. They had Cam Morris, who had 2 touchdown runs. But the big play for them was in the second half when Montrell Bird, who was literally all over the place, the senior linebacker, he recovered a fumble and returned it 65 yards for a touchdown. And that really helped give Lexington some breathing room at the time. Brady Arbol was basically the Chapin's offense all night, the quarterback, because their running game was non-existent. In fact, they only had -5 yards. Okay. But he was able to just take passes after pass after pass to really get Chapin in position to get some running scores. He ended up having 2 rushing touchdowns. But the turning point, unfortunately, was in the fourth quarter where Chapin was setting up for a game-time score, and he throws an interception to Duke Clary in the end zone, and he returns it out to the 41. Chapin has the ball back, gets it 2 more opportunities. They're forced to punt once, but then on their final drive on 4th down, Christian Sexton lays a hard hit on Arbor, and he ends up throwing an interception to Bird, and that ends it with like a minute left, and Lexington was able to basically run out the clock to get a 1-0. Basically, they're tied now with White Knoll for first place in that region right now.
Thomas, thank you very much. Great report. David, what about this Lexington team? That was a good win tonight over Chapin. 2 good teams, and Lexington, with their turnover in their coaching situation in the offseason, looks like they're moving in the positive direction.
Yeah, next week will be the test. I mean, they got to play Dutch Fork and White Knoll. Those are tough tests. White Knoll is really good, and they're very good defensively. So I would suspect that will be a low-scoring type game. Both teams play pretty good defense, but that's a good win for them tonight. I thought they would beat Chapin, but I think White Knoll is going to be a tough challenge. I'll be really interested to see how that game, because a lot of people are, not really high on White Knoll, even though they're undefeated. But telling you that Pelham's done a great job over there, and he's developing some confidence at White Knoll with those kids.
Yes, he is. They're having a great year. All right, thanks for the report, Thomas. We got to hit a break here on the high school football scoreboard. We'll come back with more reports. We have a hot call too, David. You know what happens when we have a hot call. Yeah, we got a hot call.
I do.
This might be the first hot call ever from C.A. Johnson. But C.A. Johnson's having a good year. They were playing Louisville tonight, and Billy Baker is there, and he's giving us a hot call. So we're going to hit the break. We'll come back, get the hot call, give more of your reports, and go over the scores as well. So don't leave us. Be right back here on the High School Scoreboard.
Look no further than Founders Federal Credit Union for all your mortgage loan needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or upgrading your space, Founders has many loan options to fit your lifestyle and your budget, such as low fixed and adjustable rate and flexible terms. Plus, Founders never charges PMI, private mortgage insurance. Our mortgage loan officers are here to answer your questions and help you start the home buying process. Stop by an office or visit foundersfcu.com to apply for a mortgage today. Federally insured by NCUA, membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitments that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Hello, friends. This is David Shelton, co-host of the Friday Night Scoreboard Show with Phil Kornblue. As many of you know my story, I've lost 2 sons to drug overdoses in the past 10 years. I want to tell you about my friends at Wake Up Carolina. Wake Up Carolina is a nonprofit recovery community organization dedicated to providing awareness, promoting education, and creating hope in recovery for our young adults, individuals, and families touched by substance use through collaborative community partnerships, trusted resources, and support services in Berkeley, Charleston, and Dorchester counties. The organization relies on private donors and state funding to make sure all their resources are free and open to the public. Call them today if you know someone who needs assistance. That's wakeupcarolina.org. Phone number 843-972-8154. Don't wait until it's too late.
Okay, we're back on the high school football scoreboard, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Just a moment, Billy Baker will be jumping on board with a hot call. Let me update some final scores. Belton Honea Path, 56. Powdersville, 28. Greenwood 42, Berea 10, Chapman 57, Carolina nothing, South Point 31, Catawba Ridge 3, Clinton 51, Union County 21, Seneca 41, Crescent 14, Daniel 52, Walhalla 10, Southside Christian 35, Dixie 7, Dorman beat Boiling Springs 14-10, scoring in the last 30 seconds to win that game. Easley 63, Pickens 21. Westside beat Greenville 28-14. York 28, Indian Land 20. Northwestern 59, Lancaster 6. Greer 49, Lawrence 7. Abbeville 40, Liberty 3. Clover 30, Nation Ford nothing. Palmetto 47, Southside nothing. Pendleton 61, West Oak nothing. Rock Hill 44, Spring Valley 7. St. Joseph's 56, Calhoun Falls 8. T.L. Hanna 62, Malden 7. Whitmire 61, Great Falls 28. J.O. Man 56, Woodmont 18. Wren over Fountain Inn 48-7. Those are the upstate scores. We'll get to more in a moment. Now to that hot call. Billy Baker, High School Sports Report on the scene at C.A. Johnson. Hello, Billy. He's telling me his line dropped again, I think.
Already?
Let's give him a call back. In the meantime, I tell you what, Josh, let's go to another caller, another reporter while you get Billy on the line. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell, who was at that Woodruff-Chester game tonight, and he can give us the score and the details, and then we'll try and hook up with Billy again. Garrett, thank you, man. Welcome in. How are you? Okay, we don't have Garrett, I don't think.
Having trouble with our phone systems right now. Just give us just a minute.
Okay. While you do that, then I'll give you the scores from the Midlands. So it was Airport over Aiken 14-12. Strom Thurmond over Batesburg Leesville 44-14. Bamberg Earhart 43. Ben Lippen 27. Louisville 35. C.A. Johnson 6. Newberry 56. Eau Claire nothing. Barnwell 42. Edisto 6. Fairfield Central 41, Mid Carolina nothing. Gilbert 35, Lower Richland 7. Gray Collegiate 56, Portal of Georgia 35. Irmo 63, Richland Northeast 8. Oceanside Collegiate 30, Lake Marion 8. Camden 44, Lakewood nothing. Lexington 22, Chapin 15, as you just heard that report from Thomas Grant. Saluda 42, Pillion 13. Hampton County 50. Ridgeland Hardyville 13. White Knoll 40. River Bluff nothing. Silver Bluff 37. Fox Creek nothing. Sumter 36. Socastee 6. Wagner Sally 52. Williston Elko 6. To the PD Grand Strand. Johnsonville 18. Carvers Bay 12. Andrew Jackson 21. Sherraw 17. All right, let's try Billy Baker again. See if the hot call is hot enough to stay hot. Hello, Billy.
Hey, Phil. Lewis.
His phone's dropping out.
Okay. Sorry about that. We're having a problem with the phone connection there. Let me finish with these PD area scores. Dillon 33, Loris 14, Crestwood 41, Lake City nothing, Lakeview 58, Greensea Floyd 16, Lamar 14, Latta 7. David, the dream season is not over, but the dream of an unbeaten season is over. Latta loses for the first time, 6-1. As they fall to Lamar, 14-7. Have I lost all my callers? We may have lost all the callers. We may have lost the phone. Marion over Andrews, 42-32. In overtime, Marlboro County defeats Darlington 20-14. South Florence 49, Hartsville 21. Got to get David's take on that, and hopefully a report on that coming up. Conway wins its first, defeating St. James 27-22. Waccamaw, a winner over Georgetown 24-14. In the Low Country, Well Branch 50, Bethune-Bowman 6, Bluffton 28, Hilton Head 24, Fort Dorchester 40, Ashley Ridge 22, Goose Creek 49, Berkeley 7, Woodland 31, Hanahan 28, James Island 56, Colleton County nothing, Philip Simmons 36, Buford 6, Somerville 44, Stratford 21, Timberland 35, Bishop England 13. And in Skeeza, the finals we have posted right now. Hammond 42, Augusta Christian 10, Hilton Head Christian 56, First Baptist 6, Colleton Prep 32, Greenwood Christian 14, Florence Christian 45, Hilton Head Prep 13, Jefferson Davis 40, Holy Trinity 8, Bethesda 32, Orangeburg Prep 12, Pinewood Prep 63, PD Academy 14, and Richard Wynn 51, Conway Christian nothing. So there you go. Those are the ones we have posted. Now, in the process of posting other final scores, we'll be updating these final scores with more final scores here in just a little bit. So, Josh, where are we with the phones and with the folks with reports and with David?
Our reporters, David, everybody's going to call back after the top of the hour break. We're having trouble with their phones. I got to reset them.
Okay. There's a hammer in that closet. That's how I reset things when it comes to electronics. If it doesn't work, I reset it with a hammer.
Yeah, that should work, but I'm going to try it out on the break, all right?
All right. Well, I know I don't own the equipment. I can't suggest that you break it into tiny pieces, which is what I would like to do. I would like to take a hammer to that phone system and break it into tiny pieces, but I don't own it. Thus, I can't do it. So, not suggesting that you do it. I don't think it's the way to handle the situation, but I'm just saying, if it were mine, that's what I would do. In the meantime, let's see if I can pick out a few other final scores here that we haven't mentioned or did not mention during that last run through. I might repeat myself here, so bear with me. North Central over Chesterfield, 52-28, and Palmetto over Southside, 47-0. AC Flora rallied to beat Westwood. At one point, Westwood was winning that game. AC Flora rallies to win 36-33. That's a great come-from-behind win for the Falcons. Ridgeview over Lugoff Elgin, 28-7. East Clarendon big over Hemingway, 49-0. We have Denmark Oler over Rich Spring Monetta, 64-18. Blackville Hilda over, got to get David's take on this. First loss for the Trojans, I believe. Blackville Hilda defeats Hunter Connor Tyler 33-18. That's the final score there. See if he's surprised by that one. Central over Buford 33-24. Okay. And Timberland beat Bishop England, as our man Sam told us, 35-14. Waccamaw beats Georgetown 24-14. Manning defeats Aner 28-24. Final score in that one. And let's see what else might be new to us here. Seneca over Crescent 41-14. James Island continues to have a big year, 56-0 over Colleton County. And Philip Simmons rolls it up on Beaufort 36-6. One of the big games of the night, South Florence over Hartsville, 49-21. We'll get David's take on that one in just a little bit as well. And I want to talk about this West Side win over Greenville, too, 28-14. Big win for the Rams. They're having a terrific year, having beaten TL Hanna, now beaten Greenville. They are beating some really good teams. And let's see, Northwestern beat Lancaster 59-6. As I mentioned before, Dorman over Boiling Springs 14-10. I think we've covered everything that is final to this point. So we'll hit the break here on the high school football scoreboard, and we'll come back. We'll get those callers back with us. We'll continue after the top of the hour break.
Local in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Columbia's local talk radio experience. 107 The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. California's senior U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein has passed away at the age of 90.
Senator Feinstein's office released a statement from James Saul's chief of staff saying, quote, sadly, Senator Feinstein passed away last night at her home in Washington, D.C. Her passing is a great loss for so many, from those who loved and cared for her to the people of California that she dedicated her life to serving. It goes on to say Senator Feinstein never backed away from a fight for what was just and right. At the same time, she was always willing to work with anyone, even those she disagreed with. I'm Larry Marino at the California Republican Convention in Orange County.
Torrential downpours have made life miserable in and around New York City. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says there's more rain in the forecast.
This is a dangerous weather condition, and it is not over. And I don't want those gaps in heavy rain to give the appearance that it is over. It is not. We could possibly see 8 inches of rain before the day is over.
6 inches of rain at JFK Airport surpassed a record set during Hurricane Dana in September of 1960. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has cast doubt on the prospect of the EU beginning negotiations anytime soon for Ukraine to join the bloc. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma has more.
Speaking on state radio, Orban said the EU will have to answer very long and difficult questions until we get to the point where we can even decide whether to start negotiations. The European Council is set to begin accession talks in December, and Ukraine has said it hopes to join the bloc within 2 years. Orban, who has sparred with Kyiv over language rights for a Hungarian minority in western Ukraine, said on Friday that it would be unprecedented to admit a country that's at war. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
This decade may be the worst one yet to retire in. That's why you need the most current retirement information. For more than 30 years, Bob Carlson has been helping investors stay ahead of turbulent markets and money-grubbing politicians. Now, more than ever, you need to subscribe to Bob Carlson's Retirement Watch. Bob makes sure his Retirement Watch readers are getting independent advice on all aspects of retirement. It's advice you won't get anywhere else. When you subscribe to Retirement Watch, you'll get 12 months of the newsletter. You'll also get 5 model portfolios. Plus, you'll get immediate access to the Retirement Watch private website with tons of special reports. You'll also get an online spending calculator to help you deal with inflation. Plus, exclusive conference calls with Bob Carlson, answering your retirement questions live, all for as little as $49.95. Try it for 30 days, and if you're not satisfied, cancel and we'll refund your money. Sound fair? Sign up today at retirementelders.com. Retirementelders.com. That's retirementelders.com.
It was a rough way to end a rough week on Wall Street.
Wall Street closed out its worst month of the year with more losses. The S&P 500 fell 0.3% Friday after an earlier gain withered, and the majority of stocks within the index sank. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 0.5%, and the Nasdaq Composite edged higher by 0.1%. Solid gains for stocks during the morning faded as pressure built from within the bond market. After initially easing on encouraging signals about inflation, Treasury yields rose as the day progressed to keep the pressure high on the stock market. Treasuries are seen as some of the safest investments possible, and when they pay higher yields, investors are less likely to pay high prices for stocks and other riskier investments. Shares of energy producers fell sharply with the price of oil. Damian Troisi, New York.
Former President Trump will return to Texas in November to hold fundraising events in Dallas and Houston for his 2024 campaign. The invitation lists the members of Trump's Texas leadership team. News and analysis at townhall.com.
When I served in Iraq and Afghanistan, my buddies and I would do anything for each other. That's important whether you're in a firefight or fighting to regain your life. When I came home injured, there are people I can count on, like DAV.
DAV, Disabled American Veterans, stands behind America's veterans to make their transition back home easier with free services and help getting the benefits they've earned. Help us fulfill the promise to our men and women who served. Go to DAV.org to learn more.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is the Founders Federal High School Football Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. Coming up, scores and reports from across the state and analysis from David Shelton. The Scoreboard is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now your host for the High School Scoreboard, Phil Kornblut.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2 of the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Let's get right back out to things. The hot call has been cemented. We've got Billy Baker with us now. He was over at C.A. Johnson and Louisville. Big game tonight in that region. And Billy, welcome in. Appreciate your patience. Good to have you with us.
Here's Coach Bower. Take it away, Coach Bower.
Oh, okay. We got Coach with us.
Yes, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, Coach, how are you, man? Congratulations on your win tonight. Let me pull up the score so we can talk about it. 35-6. Lions over C.A. Johnson. Kind of give us the overview of how your guys played tonight.
Not a bad game. Came out early on with a special teams bust, but then our guys kind of rallied back behind each other and got going. Started off a little slow, but at the end of the day, we got going and got a victory in the region.
Yeah. Great defense tonight, it would appear.
Yes, Caleb Perry for C.A. Johnson, he's definitely a good football player. My guys did a good job containing him tonight, keeping him off the scoreboard.
What was your game plan against him going in?
Try to contain him, make sure he played inside the tackle box, and just let our linebackers come down and make plays. A shout-out to our linebackers, Junior Howell, Daquan Evans, and Jaquintus Cowles. They did a great job tonight. And then our defensive end did a great job containing them out in the box.
What about offensively now, 35 points? So what were some of the key things you did on offense that helped you have a big night offensively, obviously?
Ian Grissom steps up again. I mean, he makes great plays for us week in and week out. He did a good job in the air with our running game. Our offensive line did an excellent job as well. They're improving each week. But Jacorian Howes is number 6, and sophomore is starting to get his name out there a lot. He's making big plays for us, along with Deion Brown and DeAndre Robertson. Those guys did a great job in the receiver group tonight.
What about the relatively quick building program that you've got going on over there at Louisville? Of course, we know Louisville has a great tradition, and it looks like you guys are on the uptick. What's been sort of a few of the key things there to help you get this thing back at a high level?
First off, just kind of getting in the hallway and building relationships. I'm big on building those relationships with everybody and every kid in that building. And so I think that played a big part of what we're able to do and get our numbers to where we are. And so we take care of our kids and do a good job with that, I think. And so none of our kids really cross over unless we need them to. And that's kind of the number game that you don't see a lot of times when we talk about 1A football.
Yeah, how many kids are you dressing?
Tonight we dressed 54.
Whoa! Wow! And how many boys do you have in the high school?
If they can walk and chew bubble gum in a straight line, we got them out here playing football. Put them in the weight room. We put them in the weight room, and we got them bigger, faster, and stronger, and they out here helping us out in some capacity. We're excited right now. We have over 85 kids in our program in total.
I mean, that is a huge – I can remember not too many years ago, there was talk of maybe the Louisville program, they're going to do away with it, or maybe they were going to consolidate with some other – because you had like a little group there of small teams with very few players, but you guys have really bounced back in a huge way.
Yeah, we breathe some life into our program, and we talk about that every day, just kind of making sure that we do it the right way. I think it's showing – and it's paying off for us.
Well, congratulations once again. Great win. Region play underway. Always great to get region wins, especially on the road, man. Those are to be cherished. We thank you, and we'll talk to you again, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And thank you, Billy Baker, for hanging in there with us and getting the coach to us. Coach Leon Bower from Louisville in year 2, David, of his rebuilding program. David Shelton with us from the Low Country, High School Sports Report, and Charleston Post and Courier. How about the numbers that they're running out there at Louisville? What do you say, 50-some-odd dressed tonight?
Yeah, that's a lot for Class A. Heck, that's a lot for Double A and Triple A. That's what he's talking about, shaking the trees and finding them in the hallways. And, obviously all 50-something don't play, but he's created an interest in a buzz where kids want to be part of the program. They've been ranked number 1 for a lot of this season, and they continue to just, it doesn't faze them. They just go out and play. Their only loss was to Oceanside Collegiate. So,
yeah,
they put together a pretty good run so far.
How good is that win for them over C.A. Johnson? This C.A. Johnson team is much improved.
Yeah, I thought they would win the game. I think C.A. Johnson is certainly a team that could finish second in that region, but I don't see anybody beating Louisville. They're going to go in November with a really good record and on a roll, and the favorite to win the Upper State. Now that doesn't mean they will win it, because you got Christchurch and St. Joe's and some other teams up there, but they're going to go into the playoffs as one of the favorites for sure.
Well, you look at that region. In 1A, you got Louisville, you got C.A. Johnson, which was 4-2 going into tonight. You got Whitmire, you got McBee, and you got Great Falls. So, just based on what we've seen and what we know of these teams, this might have been the game for the region championship tonight. Do you think?
Yeah. In fact, there was a lot of those games tonight. South Lawrence beating Hartsville, Burns beating Spartanburg, Westside beating Greenville. A lot of those really good games in regions were played tonight. So, if you can finish out the trek, which Louisville will win the rest of their games, but that's really, you don't know you don't know how it's going to break when you set the schedule, but there were a lot of game one region games that were really, really big region games tonight.
Yeah. Well, coming into the game, Louisville was allowing 4 points per game. They gave up 6 tonight. So, their defense needs to run extra laps. No, they're back. They're back where Louisville used to be when they were indeed a dominating program. All right, let's get back to others out in the fields tonight calling games. We appreciate your patience as we worked our way through the little phone issue there. A little hammer to the computer does work wonders. Justin Mathis, Chapman, and Carolina Academy tonight. Not much of a contest there, Justin, as Chapman rolled it up big time.
Yeah, Phil, it was shout out to Carolina. They were able to have their first, I think, 2-game winning streak in about 10 or 11 seasons. And shout out to those young men for what they were able to do. But they just, another way to say it, they ran into a buzzsaw tonight against the Panthers in the Region 3-3A opener for both sides. The Chapman starters were pulled at halftime, and they were able to get some of these other guys in there who saw some live action. The Panthers scored on all but one possession during the contest. Had some guys that made some key plays, including Hank Tollison. He was just about everywhere in the field. He made a couple of tackles, also came up with a fumble recovery that set up a short touchdown, as well as an interception. Taylor Dunning, another standout from tonight. He scored his first touchdown in about a year since let's see what year Taylor is, but he did good. Had 59 yards and a touchdown. Max Carter also had a blocked punt and an interception. So a good night for him. And Taylor Dunning is a senior for the Panthers. He's one of those that's worked his way back from injury. It was good to see him get some action tonight. But hey, the Panthers get to enjoy the thing that is an off week this coming Friday before they return to region play at home in 2 weeks.
Very good, my man. Thank you for the update. Great report. Have a terrific weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Justin Mathis. Let's go to Garrett Mitchell. We'll try Garrett again. Third time's a charm, Garrett. Woodruff and Chester. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, Phil. Hopefully the third time's the charm and you can hear me loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Well, good deal. Again, I feel like it's more of the same refrain that I have to say every week. Just a tough night for Woodruff. But, I'll start by giving credit to Chester. There's a reason I think they're ranked maybe 6th or 7th in the latest poll in 3A, and they're a good football team. Nothing fancy about what Chester does. They have probably one of the biggest O-lines across the board, probably the biggest I've seen this year. They just line it up and run it right at you. And they dare you to stop it, and tonight Woodruff couldn't. Elijah Coleman, their senior running back, kid's about 5'9", 215 pounds, and he's tough to bring down. He runs low. And Trooper Floyd, junior quarterback, he's a 3-year starter. So kid's got another year left, but he's already a savvy veteran. And it doesn't help. Woodruff was down, I believe, 6 or 7 guys tonight, including their best player, wide receiver Corey Scott. Young man suffered a pretty nasty concussion last week at Broome. He's on the mend. Should have him back next week if all goes well. But final score was 44-6. So, just not a great game for the Wolverines. But what I try to tell people all over town is you've got to be patient with this group. When you start 10 sophomores, 2 freshmen, and 4 juniors, I believe it is, and you lose 19 starters off of last year's team, you might take some lumps. And I think that's probably should have been expected coming in. But at the same time, you've got to understand that better days are ahead. So it's frustrating right now, but you have to keep your eyes on the end game, and 2023 isn't it?
Absolutely. Okay, sir, thank you very much. Great report. Always good hearing from you, Garrett, and good luck next week. Hope to hear from you then.
Absolutely. And Phil, while you got me on, I do need to give a shout out to the players on the Chester team and to Coach Victor Floyd. A lot of people know me. I'm on the Woodruff Chain Crew, and this is year number 21 for me. And the kids at Chester, they're one of the most class act programs that you could be around. I told Coach Floyd after the game, just a joy to be around his kids. They do things the right way. So congratulations to them. Wish them all the luck the rest of the way.
Not surprised because he's a class act himself, so I would imagine his players carry themselves that way. So not surprised at that at all.
No doubt about it.
All right, my man. Thank you very much. Great hearing from you. Appreciate it. Let's go to the Midlands and welcome in the maestro of the Midlands. They call him Scoop. Lou Bazjak from the state newspaper. Hello, Lou.
Hey, Phil. How you guys doing tonight?
We are doing great. Where were you tonight?
River Bluff and White Knoll.
Oh, give us details on this one.
White Knoll dominant. I mean, it was they scored 34 points in the first half. Went on to win 40-0 region opener for both teams. So it was pretty impressive. They're 6-0 on the year. I think they're ranked number 7 in the 5A. So just an impressive performance, and getting ready for the big showdown next week against Dutch Fork.
What are you seeing in this White Knoll team that you really like?
Their defense, they're physical. They hit. I think they held River Bluff to 78 yards tonight. They got their balance on offense. They can run. They got a really good freshman running back in Tyan Fanning, who I think you'll hear more about. They got Jaden Kimball, who he ran out of the Wildcat tonight, but he's also a Shrine Bowl linebacker. They got their receiving corps is pretty deep. They got one of their starters from last year back tonight. He caught a touchdown pass, Austin Cunningham. So they're just well sound. They're physical. They'll pound it, running the ball, and they'll hit you defensively. They were clicking tonight, and they've been most of the season. We'll see if they can keep it up. They faded a little bit last year, but this is a really good football team that I think could make a deep run in the playoffs.
Handicap next week for us.
Well, it's big. I mean, because Nick Pelham, the coach, was on 5 state championship teams at Dutch Fork. He got blown out the first 2 times against them. I think this is his best shot for sure. Dutch Fork's coming off a bye. They might get their quarterback back. So I look for a great ball game by 2 guys that know each other pretty well, and talent on both sides of the ball. I think it's one of the best games in the state next week.
Do you think Dutch Fork, with the week off, couple of weeks to get ready, get healthy, like you mentioned, might have the quarterback back, you think they're ready for a resurgence and getting back to the Dutch Fork that we all know and love?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you can. There's talent. Obviously, they're lacking that game breaker, either that receiver or running back. But they got a good pair of running backs. I think they're gonna. You'll possibly see some lineup changes. Coach Knotts hinted at that last week. So I think you'll see a rejuvenated team and ready to make a run towards the region championship and another deep postseason run. So I'll be interested to see how they respond, and also White Knoll. It's been a while since they've had a big game like this, and see how they perform in a big game setting.
Let me ask you about one more game in the Midlands tonight, and that was AC Flora coming from behind to beat Westwood. I mean, it looked like Westwood was going to take this one, but the Falcons came back to win it. They came back to win it 36-33, right? You had the Falcons winning that game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they won that game. Ed and Mosley, who hadn't played all year, 3 touchdowns tonight. Westwood gave them all they could handle, and this is a Florida team still trying to find itself a little bit. I mean, they had to replace 17, 19 starters from last year, so it's going to be kind of work in progress. But that's a good win that they can, because they got a big one in 2 weeks against Irmo, but which I think is going to cause problems for a lot of teams in 4A. But yeah, that's a good win, a good come from behind win tonight for the Falcons.
Okay, Lou, we'll let you get back at it, man. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, guys.
You too, man. Thank you very much. Lou Bajak from the state. David, what did you take of what Lou had to say about the teams he was talking about there, and especially looking ahead to that showdown next week?
Yeah, I mean, I really think White Knoll can beat Dutch Fork. I think this is, as Lou said, if there's ever going to be a year with the stuff that Dutch Fork's going through health-wise and with the incredible confidence that White Knoll has right now, Pelham knows everything about Dutch Fork's program that there is to know. He just hasn't had the horses, and Dutch Fork has. So, I mean, if Dutch Fork wins that game next week, I think we better start putting them back in the top 10 and start thinking about them as a deep playoff run. But again, you know, I don't know how healthy they're going to be and who's going to play. But White Knoll is not a pushover. That will not be a pushover game for them.
Yeah, I got to believe Knott's has used the open week to, get some people healthy as best he can. But look at that lineup and maybe not change a bunch of stuff, but maybe just fine tune and tighten some things up.
Yeah, and you know, he's a great coach. He could have torn up all the pages and put something new in. We don't know. I mean, he's that good. He could get a team ready with a wholesale bunch of changes in a week. We'll see what if the quarterback plays. That obviously makes them a little better, but like Lou said, they don't really have those game breakers on offense that they've had in the past decade, and the Antonio Williams and the Jarvis Greens and people like that. And I think that plays into White Knoll's ability on defense. They'll get after Dutch Fork defensively.
Okay, let's go to the break. Thank you, David. Let's go to the break, and we'll regroup and get some more final scores together here and hear from more folks who are standing by to join us. I think Monty Dutton is going to give us the story on the Clinton win tonight, and might pick up another report or two here down the road. Get back over through this scoreboard and catch up on all these final scores, as well as we got region action all across the state beginning tonight. Be back after the break.
Relax with an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union. Here at Founders, we understand that it's more than just a vehicle. It's a part of your life's journey. From hobbies changing to families growing, it's with you along the way. Our low fixed rates can get you on the road in a ride that fits your life. Not sure what you want? Apply early for a pre-approved spending limit so you know what to look for before you start shopping. Head over to one of our 41 convenient office locations or visit foundersfcu.com to apply for an auto loan today. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. People often ask me, when should I start saving for college? And I always tell them, start today. September is College Savings Month, a great time to start saving for your child's education. Future Scholar makes it easy to open and manage your account online, and the plan offers options and benefits you won't find with a regular savings or investment account. So make this the month you go to futurescholar.com and see why it's the smart, easy way to save for college. futurescholar.com.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitments that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Let's get back out to our reporters. Let's welcome in Monty Dutton covering the Clinton High School Red Devils. And they did not have a Red Devil of a time tonight, like they did last week. They take down Union County 51-21. Welcome in, Monty. How are you?
I'm fine. The final score was actually 51-28.
Oh, okie dokie.
Clinton is back. They played South Aiken. They've lost their leading returning running back, Jaden Robinson, for the season, but they'll have another running back probably back by the playoffs. But they were without 5 starters against South Aiken, and all but one were back tonight. And Clinton is really being carried right now by Caden Crawford, who scored on a safety and caught 2 touchdown passes. He caught quarterback Deshaun Richardson was 8 of 12 for 210 yards. And Caden Crawford caught 191 of those with seven catches. Clinton rushed for 454 yards and had 4 backs over with 29 yards or more. But Clinton did what they wanted to. And the game, there's 2 weird things about the game. First of all, Union had notable problems getting started. The first snap of the game went over the quarterback's head. His name is Keyshawn Harden. And it went through the end zone for a safety. The first play of the second half was a 57-yard run by the quarterback on the very first play of the second half. Just as in the opener with Batesburg-Leesville, in which Clinton led 50-7 and ended up winning 50-28, this was similar. They were ahead 44-7 shortly after in the third quarter and wound up winning 51-28. Clinton is now 5-2, 1-0 in Region 4-3A, and Union's only victory this year was over Lawrence, and Union is 1-6 and 0-1. But Clinton pretty much flexed their muscles in front of another near capacity Wilder Stadium crowd. Clinton has an off date next week before they visit Woodruff in 2 weeks, and then the showdown looms against Chester.
Yes, that's going to be one heck of a ball game in a couple of weeks. Monty, thanks very much. Good to hear from you. You're having what I would call a blessed football season with your Paladins and your Blue Hose and your Clinton Red Devils. You got a lot of winning going on. You got a lot of winning to enjoy there.
If I had not been at Walker and seen PC win that game, I would have thought someone was playing a practical joke on me, because that is one of the I was talking with a PC person who said that might have been the biggest upset for PC since they beat Furman in 2014. And I said, well, PC had scholarships then.
Yeah.
I mean, this was really, in my opinion, it's the closest thing to a miracle. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it.
Yeah,
and,
believe me.
Clinton's back on track. You're right. It's a fun season for them.
Absolutely. Monty, thank you, man. Great talking to you. Have a terrific weekend. Talk to you next week. The Red Devils get it going. What did he say? Over 400 rushing yards? Did he say that? I think that's what he said. They got it going again. I want to see Clinton and T.L. Hanna play. We got to talk to David about that. Who would win in that ball game between Hanna and Clinton? There might be, 3 passes thrown? Back after the break.
This is Ian with AccuClean. With fall in sight, it's time to refresh and clean your carpets and upholstery.
Whether it's pet stains or dirt buildup from everyday use, we've got you. AccuClean is a veteran-owned and local carpet, rug, and upholstery cleaning company that's been here in the Midlands for over 20 years. Call AccuClean today at 803-957-1202. That is AccuClean at 803-957-1202. I'll see you soon.
Hi, this is Jennifer Coolidge. The American Heart Association says the disco song Stayin' Alive is the near-perfect beat for hands-only CPR. If you see a teen or adult collapse from cardiac arrest, you only need 2 steps to help save a life. Call 911 and push hard and fast in the center of the chest to the beat of the song Stayin' Alive. Disco is back and it's saving lives. To learn more, go to heart.org/hands-only-CPR.
Nationally supported by the WellPoint Foundation.
He plans on winning the state in a historic landslide in 2024, saying California's current mail-in ballot system is rigged. This is SRN News.
The United States Constitution guarantees every American fundamental rights and protection of life, liberty, and property. Salem is celebrating our founding document with the special offer, a 1953 Oman U.S. Constitution lithograph. To understand the value of these lithographs is to know the story. A master lithographer immigrant named Theodore Oman came to this country to find the American dream. 70 years ago, in 1953, Oman printed a limited number of these exceptional Constitution lithographs. Go to SalemEventsStore.com to read Oman's entire story. America's most important document stands as a testament to all Americans to maintain their liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. Buy it and display it proudly. Buy a gift for your family and friends, and for all the teachers in your community.
Fran Halloran here. Now listen closely to what I'm about to say. I'm a business owner, and many of you listening right now, you're business owners as well. The first rule in owning a business is this: don't waste money. I see business owners waste their marketing dollars all the time. Not me. I figured out a long time ago that spending my marketing dollars at the point was not only intentional, but extremely profitable as well. If you're a small business owner, you owe it to yourself to sit down with Kevin Cohen and ask him to create a custom marketing plan for your business. He's looking for folks just like you who believe in local to partner with him in 2023 and beyond. Trust me when I tell you, partnering with The Point works. You will see results, and your marketing budget will no longer be wasted. Give Kev a call at 803-563-8558 and tell him the Money Coach sent you.
How would you like to get high-speed internet for your home for less than $2 a day? That's right. For about $50 a month, you'll get lightning-fast internet. Are you paying less than $50 a month right now for your internet? Then call Whole Home Connect right now for blazing fast internet at $50 a month with no price increases, no hidden fees, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees. It's a great deal. And guess what? You can try it for 15 days. If you don't like it, you get your money back. But you're going to love it, and you're going to love the price. Internet for your home for $50 a month. That's less than $2 a day. Plus, no contracts, no upfront costs, no equipment fees, and our 15-day guarantee. Call now. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. 800-245-1537. That's 800-245-1537.
There's more than one kind of customer when it comes to Shooter's Choice. First, there's the customer who knows what's what, has a pretty good idea of what he or she likes. You're looking for a few things. First, a good selection. Yep, Shooter's Choice has a huge selection. Firearms, ammo, accessories, optics, even gun safes. You're looking for good and fair pricing. Oh yeah, Shooter's has been around as your local stop forever because they treat you right. And how about customer service? Absolutely the best you'll find anywhere. The folks who work at Shooter's Choice are shooters and hunters just like you. They know their products. They can answer your question. And that brings me to the other type of customer. Someone maybe more like me. No expert for sure, but wants to learn from the right people. I don't need some big box store guy who works in the shoe department half a week, sporting goods the other half. I need the experts at Shooter's Choice who will treat me right, answer my questions as simple as they might be. They'll make my experience excellent. Online, it's shooterschoicesc.com or visit them in person on Sunset Boulevard in West Columbia. Make it your first choice, your best choice. Make it Shooter's Choice.
Okay, let's get back to guys with reports on games tonight across the state. First of all, let me say thank you to everybody that calls in to give us reports. That really, outside of David Shelton, who is the absolute star of the show, he is our Steve Harvey. He's our Steve Harvey of the high school scoreboard. He's just so popular, so famous. He makes the wheel turn here at the high school scoreboard.
Yeah, but I'm real popular. Yeah.
We do love and appreciate everybody that calls in, taking the time out, because I know you're dog tired. And if you're like Alan Smothers, you probably got a cigar in one hand and a little glass of something blondish in the other hand, hopefully not driving with all that. The bad boy of Sports Talk Media, Alan Smothers, tonight was on hand for Hartsville and South Florence, and the Bruins did it once again, Alan.
They did, and I said from the rest of this year, or early this year, I couldn't wait for our broadcast tonight. I do the Friday Night Rivals game on TV in the PD in the Grand Strand, and I said this was going to be the game of the year. Well, for a half, it was. It was 28-21 at the half. Hartsville marched the ball right down the field, stuck it in the end zone in a minute and a half. South Florence, on the ensuing kickoff, Jaden Sellers, the younger brother of Lenora Sellers, backup quarterback for the Gamecocks, a junior wide receiver and return man, took the ensuing kickoff, returned it 75 yards, tackled at about the 20-yard line, and was done for the night. We still don't know. I talked to his dad after the game, have no idea what the prognosis is, but we didn't see him the rest of the evening. So we lost him early. But we got to halftime, both teams scoring, prolific offenses, but South Florence's defense took over in the second half. Shut Hartsville completely out, but unfortunately we lost another Power 5 recruit in Carmelo McDaniel for Hartsville. He went down, and it looked like a regular tackle. He got twisted up a little bit, but he laid motionless for literally 15 or 20 minutes. They took him off the field on a stretcher, took him to the hospital. Report after the game was he was moving all of his extremities, didn't find anything serious wrong, so hopefully we'll have both of those stars back. But it's the South Florence defense that people have got to watch out for. I said on my show this week, it might be a 77-70 game, or it could be a 13-7 game. But the South Florence defense shut out Hartsville in the second half, and South Florence 21 in a row now. I don't see them losing a game this year again. I just don't.
You mean like all the way to the state championship, or are you talking regular season?
No, I'm talking back-to-back state championships. They're ranked number one. They deserve it. Hartsville lost to Irmo 2 weeks ago because their starting quarterback did not play in anticipation of this I don't want to say historic, but this monumental opening game in Region 6 4A, because they're the best two teams in the league. Myrtle Beach, I think they lost to West Florence tonight.
No,
they were
won.
down.
Other way.
Coming back to win.
Yeah.
Okay.
They won on the last play of the game.
I was going to say they were down 2 touchdowns late when I left Florence, and I'm just pulling into my driveway in Socastee right now. And so, but Myrtle Beach is Myrtle Beach again. Make no mistake, they've come back from that season opening embarrassment to Camden. Although Camden's, we know how good they are. But I'm just telling you, this was a titanic struggle tonight. But Drew Marlowe's team is loaded. If they can get Jaden Sellers back, because Jaden Sellers is on everybody's short list in recruiting. He's gotten offers from everybody, and he is just as talented and explosive as they come. But so is Hartsville's offense, and South Florence's defense just shut them down. in the second half.
That's why you are the bad boy. Just like threw that thing together, didn't give you any forewarning, just right off the top of your head. It's amazing.
It is a great, and here's the thing. They had 248 yards offense in the first half, 72 yards of offense in the second half. Whatever Drew Marlowe and Cannon Jordan, who, by the way, is the son of my color man, Chuck Jordan, the legendary head coach of the Conway Tigers, his son, Cannon, is the defensive coordinator. They made some adjustments at halftime, and that was that.
Well, he's a heck of a football coach. Should be a head coach somewhere, but that's a story for another day. Thank you, bad boy. Have a great weekend. Talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Corn. And David, you are my hero too, buddy.
Well, we go back a long way, Smothers. We go back a long way.
Yes, we do, brother. And I cherish it.
Good hearing from you.
Thank you so much.
Speaking of that Myrtle Beach West game, let's welcome in the voice of the Seahawks, Lane Harris, who's got to hit the road and get to Statesboro, Georgia for Coastal Carolina, but he's got time to get that done. Welcome in, sir. Give us the details. So Myrtle Beach wins it on the last play?
Well, first, Phil, I have to let you know that my bumper sticker on my car as we race down 9095 to get a hotel room says Bergie is my co-pilot.
Well, that, you're putting your life in your hands there, if that's what you're relying on.
I tell you what, I'm riding high. I'm riding about 10 feet above the car right now. Myrtle Beach Seahawks with a walk-off win tonight at Knight Stadium with a 29-28 win on a 35-yard touchdown pass from Gibson Goodrow to sophomore wide receiver Raekwon Green, his only second catch of the season on a Hail Mary to win the ball game. And it was a fantastic night for Myrtle Beach fans who made the trip over, and for people who should have been listening on Bob 104.9, like Alex Smothers, to hear the end of the ball game so he would know that Myrtle Beach won the ball game. But, they got off to a good start. The West Florence Knights are a very good football team. Jody Jenrich doing wonders over there with the athletes that they have. They drove down the field on the first possession of the game on the opening kickoff and scored in a little over 2 minutes. Myrtle Beach answered right back with a 46-yard Malachi Washington touchdown run on their first possession to score a minute and a half after that. The teams were locked up at 7 apiece, and then 14-14 at the halftime as West Florence scored with 8 seconds left. They went 80 yards in about 2.5 minutes, scored on a 18-yard touchdown pass from Franklin Emerson to I think it was Keyshawn Johnson to tie the game up at 14 at halftime. And the third quarter was all West Florence. They made halftime adjustments on the defensive side of the ball and shut down Malachi Washington, even though Malachi did have 2 touchdown runs and 20 carries for 155 yards, just slightly below his per-game average this season. But he did leave the game in the middle of the fourth quarter with what looked like a lower leg injury, so we'll have to be keeping an eye on his health as we move to our next few games. But this is where it got kind of crazy. Myrtle Beach took over in the fourth quarter, and they had been keeping West Florence bottled up in their end of the field on several occasions, and they finally got a short punt and got the ball at about the 40-yard line, and it took Gibson Goodrow about 5 plays to get into the end zone. He hit sophomore wide receiver John Kelly for his first catch of the season on a 5-yard touchdown pass to make it 28-21. And every time West Florence got the ball in that fourth quarter, they just ran it and ran it and ran it. And you could just almost tell that Jody Jenrich water torture was coming. He was just going to run the clock out and take control of the game. But, again, a short punt got us down inside the 30-yard line. Myrtle Beach drove with about 4 minutes to go in the ball game all the way down inside the 5-yard line, and got the ball turned over on downs as they went for it on 4th down and goal from the 2-yard line. And West Florence took over at the 3-yard line. But Jason Owens' defense did a great job of keeping them bottled up and keeping them on that side of the field. And what was a bizarre play, West Florence had to punt from out of their end zone. and the ball was snapped, and Franklin Emerson was their punter, and he dropped the ball in the end zone and fell on it. But the officials had blown the play dead with a pre-snap illegal procedure penalty on West Florence. And this is with like 14 seconds to go in the ball game. So after a discussion that was way too long, almost probably 3 minutes of airtime waiting for something to be called and something to be done, they give the ball to West Florence at the 1 foot line. And after Jody Jenrette takes 2 timeouts, they run the ball out of the back of the end zone for a safety with 9.6 seconds to go. So the score is now 28-23. They line up for the free kick at the 20-yard line, and instead of kicking the ball deep, because Gibson Goodrow is the baseball catcher who's playing quarterback, and it's nothing against him, but he can't throw the ball more than 40 yards in the air. And if you kick the ball deep, we've got to go 40 or 50 yards if you cover the kick under normal circumstances. Franklin Emerson squib kicks the ball. We fall on it at the 35-yard line, and you guessed it, Myrtle Beach lines up with 4.6 seconds to go. Gibson Goodrow rolls out to the right to the wide side of the field in front of the Myrtle Beach bench, and slings it 35 yards to the end zone where sophomore wide receiver Laquan Green comes down with it with 3 zeros on the clock. And we go hysterical on our radio broadcast, Wayne Gray and I, and the Seahawks finally will find a way to go 1-0. It was a hard one, but it was a great one. My first walk-off win in my 40 years of broadcasting history in Myrtle Beach.
That's great. It's a wonder you didn't break the equipment.
I had to back up from the microphone because I was screaming pretty loud.
Wow. What a moment. What an absolute moment. And, yeah, it was strategy both ways. And on the one hand, it backfired. On the other hand, it turned out great because they were able to take advantage of that. And maybe knowledge, had they known, maybe they didn't realize the arm strength of the quarterback. And had they known, maybe you're right, they kick it deep and they put him in a situation where he can't throw it that deep.
And that's one of the things that Coach Wilson said after the game when I talked to him about his conversation with the kid. He said I couldn't really talk to him because they were dancing and singing and had the music on, but they're learning not to give up, not to ever give up. And as this, the bad loss to Camden in game 1 is in the rearview mirror. They've won 5 straight games now, but the road to hoe is very, very tough. Hartsville Red Foxes will come to Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium next Friday night, and then we got to make a trip over to South Florence to take on the number 1 ranked Bruins. So we're gonna enjoy this one for a whole weekend. We got to get back to business. We're 2 tough teams, but right now Seahawks at 5-1, 1-0 in Region 6 4A, the toughest 4A region in the state.
Ooh, all right. See if you can take some of that magic with you to Statesboro and spread it around on the coastal side tomorrow.
I was thinking that same thing. I'd like to come away with a big smile on my face and ride high above the car with Bergie as my co-pilot again on the way back home.
All right. You guys travel safe, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you very much.
We'll do it, Corn. We'll see you.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you very much. Lane Harris, what a game, David. How about that finish?
Yeah, that's I saw the video on Twitter while we were at a break. And the throw was actually not to the end zone. The guy jumped up and caught it at about the 1.5 or 2, but fell backwards into the end zone. So, I mean, another 5 yards back, and he probably would not have got it that far. It's just, it's kind of, you walk away from those games just shaking your head saying, you know what, that's the football god smiling down on Mickey Wilson.
No question. Before we hit the break, let's welcome in Sam Albuquerque from the Greenville News and the upstate coverage that they provide. And I believe tonight, Sam, you were over at that Burns and Spartanburg game. Rebels win it 21-9.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game. 2 of probably the best defenses I've seen since I've been in the upstate the past couple seasons. Burns and Spartanburg, hats off to them. And it may have looked like a boring game if you love offensive football, but for me, who loves watching these defenses play, it was a lot of fun, and it really turned. At the end of the game, there was 14-9 for Burns. They were marching, and Spartanburg was marching down the field. They get in the red zone, and their junior quarterback, Samaje Johnson, throws an interception to James Oates, senior linebacker, first-year starter over at Burns. They had a couple really great linebackers the past couple of years. James has been, a bit on the back burner, but gets a start in his senior year, and man, he's been killing it. So he catches that interception, takes it back about 85 yards to the house, and really seals the win for Burns there, 21-9. I was just really impressed with both defenses, but the difference was the turnovers. Obviously the interception returned by Oates, but also Armani Weaver forced the fumble, scooped it up, and took it about 50 yards. And two of the three touchdowns that Burns scored in the game were both on the defensive side. If you take away the defensive touchdowns, there was a safety there as well. Both offenses only scored one touchdown. So if you take those away, it's a 7-7 ball game. So it really shows how good these defenses are that have been, holding their opponents at about 10 points a game each.
Wow, how about that? And defense has always been a part of the success of both of these programs, but we think of them more for their offense, right? We really expect these two teams to put a lot of points on the board. So credit to the Burns team for having enough offense and, of course, playing terrific defense. What about the offensive side of things for Burns tonight?
Yeah, it was really good between the 20s. You could see them move the ball, get some first downs. But on offense for both teams, it felt like it was about one big play for each throughout the entire game. Trey Segura, I guess his name is David Segura III, but he goes by Trey. He is a freshman running back for Burns. After one varsity football start, the man got an offer from UCF. Obviously, Bobby Bentley and Burns have that connection. Bobby is an analyst, I think, over at UCF now. He broke a play, broke a run about 50, 60 yards. And that was sort of the only thing that the Burns offense did. Spartanburg had a big, throw from TJ Johnson to Justin Rice, who's a phenomenal junior receiver. Very under-scouted at this point, but I think when people really get a look at him, he's phenomenal. He's got good size, great hands. But the offenses were really limited between the 20s. Other than those two, probably 45 to 65-yard plays between the two of them, there wasn't much of an offense. And you're right, Phil. Both these teams in recent years, Burns obviously with Bobby Bentley being that quarterback guru, and then Chris Miller, they were known for that high-powered offense. And Spartanburg in the past couple of years, they refer to themselves as QBU. You go back and they had, I think, 3 straight quarterbacks that played Division I college football. The most recent was Raheem Jeter last year, who's at East Carolina now. But it was limited. You could see the athletes on the offensive side for both teams. It's just they're young. Trey is a freshman. The running back that I spoke about, Samaje's a junior, Justin's a junior. So these are young teams that are on offensive side of the football that have, first-year starters at a lot of key positions. Quarterback for Burns, he's a senior, but he never started a game before. And Andrew Stevens, Trey Segura is a freshman running back. They have Dreesen Evans, who's I think he's a junior. He plays a big part in that offense as sort of a gadget guy. It's a lot of young players all over both offenses.
Sam, great stuff, my man. Thank you for calling us tonight. Great job on the report. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, Phil.
Thank you. You can read Sam's stories, of course, on the Greenville News and their website with the Greenville News and the upstate coverage they have with Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson. And we got to run to a break and come back and get some final thoughts from David Shelton on this exciting Friday night across the state of South Carolina. Some great games, and, of course, it's region action, so the games really carry on extra meaning because now we're starting to play for region championships and playoff positioning. Back to wrap it up with David after this break on the High School Scoreboard.
Look no further than Founders Federal Credit Union for all your mortgage loan needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or upgrading your space, Founders has many loan options to fit your lifestyle and your budget, such as low fixed and adjustable rate and flexible terms. Plus, Founders never charges PMI, private mortgage insurance. Our mortgage loan officers are here to answer your questions and help you start the home buying process. Stop by an office or visit foundersfcu.com to apply for a mortgage today. Federally insured by NCUA, membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender.
Farm Bureau Insurance's agricultural roots and ties to South Carolina farmers have shaped the company's culture and work ethic, providing a unique customer experience. Customers are treated like people, not policies. Now, while other insurance companies may have a one-size-fits-all approach to handling customers, we believe you need to be valued and treated right. Our claims professionals work until the job is done, and our agents still believe in the commitment that comes with a handshake. Call Buddy Bridges in Clinton and Lawrence at 864-923-2174 for all of your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
Okay, we've got almost all the scores in from across the state, and everything will be up on our website, sportstalksc.com. Let me just go over some of these low country finals. I don't think I touched on the low country last time we went through it. Well Branch over Bethune-Bowman 50-6. Bluffton 28, Hilton Head 24, Fort D 40, Ashley Ridge 22, Goose Creek 49, Berkeley 7. Woodland 31, Hanahan 28, James Island 56, Colleton County nothing, Lucy Beckham 42, May River 6, Philip Simmons 36, Beaufort 6, Conway gets its first win 27-22 over St. James, West Ashley 65, Stone nothing, Somerville 44, Stratford 21, and Timberland 35, Bishop England 13. David, across the state tonight, some great games. What do you take away from tonight?
Well, as I said earlier, it's week 1 of region play, so the season actually started tonight. For me, it always starts into September, 1st of October. But you saw so many really good teams have to play each other in their region openers. Like Spartanburg, Burns, Westside, Greenville, Fort Dorchester, Ashley Ridge, Beaufort, Philip Simmons, which, by the way, Philip Simmons is now 7-0, having the best season in their little short school history. And they're probably going to win that region because they beat Beaufort tonight, and that's the two best teams in that league. So another new school that's only playing their second year, Lucy Beckham down here, is still undefeated. The other big storyline, and we don't know the seriousness, but I saw a lot of injuries tonight to key players. Saw it on Twitter. The young man at Hartsville, the young man at South Florence. I mean, some really key. That running back at Hartsville is like he makes that offense go, and if he can't play for a couple of weeks, that could be a problem.
Well, we take a moment here, of course, to send out our best wishes to all these players and their families as they deal with these injuries. That's the last thing that we want to hear about. So we wish them well and wish them a speedy recovery. And hopefully the news is going to be good. David, great job as always. Look forward to next week as we continue here along the road of region play. It goes by quickly, doesn't it? Before you know it, we'll be talking about who's making the playoffs and then a full month of playoff action come November.
Yeah, we will. It's getting close. And I just want to quickly interject. I'm going to be speaking at Barnwell on Monday, and I'm going to be speaking at Spartanburg High on Wednesday as part of my One Team, One Call. So starting to get some more people that want me to come speak.
Fantastic. Great job on that, David. You are to be saluted, and thank you for being with us. Thank you, Josh Cohen, for a great job, and thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend.
Weekdays from 7 to 9 on The Point. It's Kev and Brian in the morning. The news, the traffic 4 times an hour, and your daily forecast. Topics to wake you up, topics to make you smile and laugh. Hope you'll join us.
The Point.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Tasha Stevens. A man employed by the IRS is charged with stealing former President Trump's tax returns. According to CNN, Charles Littlejohn worked with the IRS between 2018 and 2020, and during that time, he allegedly stole tax return information associated with the former president and then leaked it to the press. Littlejohn also allegedly stole over a decade's worth of tax information from thousands of the nation's wealthiest people. The New York Times and ProPublica both published articles on Trump's tax returns in that time frame, although courts have not accused either organization of wrongdoing at this time. After skipping both Republican debates, former President Trump spoke at the Republican State Convention in Anaheim, California. There, he told Republicans that he plans on winning the state in a historic landslide in 2024, saying California's current mail-in ballot system is rigged. The former president said cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco are being destroyed by Democrats, citing mass homelessness and crime. The United Auto Workers expanded its strike against General Motors and Ford by adding 2 additional assembly plants, ramping up pressure on the companies to come to a new contract deal. UAW member Constance Daniels says they need more money.
Nobody want to strike. Nobody. We all supposed to be a family, and we were just trying to feed our family. And with the cost of living going on and everything, that's all we ask.
They're asking for a 40% pay increase, among other things. Workers